This is a Joe Grasser production from the Wired Up TV team and family. Best Tupac Alive channel and past and present political news.
How's it going, my people? This is your boy Wired Up, and welcome to another episode of Wired Up TV. Hope you guys got your hands on the steering wheel and keeping your eyes on the road, taking care of everything that you need to take care of, no matter what it is. I tell you guys every day, every show, every episode that I care about y'all, man. And, I want to tell you guys everything I know, give you guys all the game I've learned for those that are younger or older that don't have that game. Because, some of us grew up a lot slower, and some of us grew up in nice neighborhoods that don't know how people are, the streets, and how the world, the ups and downs are. So keep your head in the game. Life is like a car. You let go of that steering wheel, life's gonna crash. With that being said, let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right, my people, you asked for it, now you got it. The Wired Up TV team has started an Eazy investigation as well. Okay, you guys on the live streams, I've been getting multiple, even on comments. We also were getting some on Biggie's, so we will be starting Biggie's soon. But first, we want to get this cracking with Eric Eazy Wright from Compton, California, Kelly Park Crips. Now, let me start off by reading this article, okay? It starts like this. Lanark Park and Marble, as I listened to him talk to his multiple lovers on the phone, one after another. Eric, I would say to him, sadly, persist. What does it say? Present? Whatever. P-U-S-S-Y is going to be your downfall. He was so smart in every other way. Women were his Achilles heel. I couldn't believe that a guy with so few other weaknesses indulged himself in such a huge one. Why would Knight have wanted to kill Eazy-E? In 1991, Knight and two of his goons confronted Eazy at Galaxy Studios at Sounds of Los Angeles. All right, guys, that was Jerry Heller. Believe it was an interview or maybe part of his book, one of the two. I'm leaning more to the side that it was his book, where he's basically commenting on this stuff, man. And he basically straight up said it, that Eazy was a woman magnet. He had a lot of sex and he loved women, and his women problem was more like an addiction. So that would basically, if Jerry Heller knew, the white guy that came into his life a little bit later on in his life, how when these street people, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, Suge Knight knew who Eazy was before the music business, guys. All these guys knew each other, from Keefe D, Orlando, Suge Knight, Eazy-E, Dre. All these guys knew each other from the street. Compton is a small city, man. You're gonna run into each other, especially if y'all doing big things. Now, anyways, here's another part. This is from the Jimmy Kimmel show. This is about Mr. Suge Knight, and it touches on the Suge Knight theory that Suge Knight injected him or had somebody inject Eazy with AIDS. Kimmel Live in 2003, his first televised appearance after being released from prison. Suge Knight, for parole violations stemming from assault and weapon convictions. Knight, 50, is currently awaiting trial for murder after he was captured on video allegedly running over and killing Heavyweight Records co-founder Terry Carter in late January. He also hit another man who survived the altercation. Reportedly followed a dispute with originated on the Straight Outta Compton set. Knight turned himself in to the West Hollywood Sheriff's Station the next day, right? So a lot of people think this might have been a setup to try to get Suge Knight in prison, right? So he would keep his mouth shut on the plot on killing Eazy-E. All right, a lot of people think the guys that helped Suge Knight kill Eazy-E, or the man that actually injected him with the HIV virus, was the ones that set him up that fateful day when he ran over those two gentlemen. In case you guys don't know the whole story, Suge Knight was actually trying to run for his life. He said he saw a gun, so he tried to bone out on his truck, right? But in case you guys don't know, on Jimmy Kimmel Live in 2003, Suge Knight actually said, he basically said, if you kids don't want to go to jail, you know what I mean, then there's this new thing that they do, and it's basically that they buy a needle that has the blood of somebody with AIDS, and they shoot somebody with it, right? Whether on a bullet or the needle itself, and it's a slow death. And he says, it's, that Eazy thing. Okay, why would he say this, right? Why would he say this? A lot of people wondering, why would you say this, Suge Knight? Is it true? Is it not? What do you guys think, man? Let me know, guys. We're still on this project, but I want to know what you guys think. Moving on. Okay. This first article on the left I'm going to read is from Eazy's son, right? A lot of you guys know him. He's a rapper, Little Eazy, Little E, from Compton, whatever. Y'all know who he is, I'm pretty sure. I've been known my pops was killed. His death never added up to what people have always said. Maybe they think we're idiots, blind to the truth. I don't know. But for you new fans, youngsters, and people who just don't know much, notice in Straight Outta Compton, Eazy did not get sick until after the studio incident with Suge. And look how he acknowledged and admits on this interview with Jimmy Kimmel, injecting people instead of shooting them is a new thing that's done. The truth is out there is just blinded by the facts that Eric Eazy Wright was murdered. Guys, that's his son. Now, like we always tell you guys to read between the lines, these people are not going to come on TV and snitch, especially the street people, man. We're not going to come on TV and say, look, this person told me this. I heard it from this person, my mom, and my mom heard it, or I heard it from this guy, Suge Knight's brother, whatever the case may be. They're just not going to do that, man. You need to learn how to read between the lines. Little Eazy obviously grew up in the same area as Suge Knight's people, right? He's from the streets. This was his father. People tell you when you're, what I'm saying? Like, if your dad gets killed, your homies are going to tell you more stuff than they're going to tell other people, man. It's just the way the street works. And that's just the way the world works. For you people that think that street people don't have heart, you're sadly mistaken. Now, this is from another article, and this actually been on interviews, all right, from a gentleman by the name of BG Knockout, right? He rapped in a lot of songs like Compton, real Compton City G's. Anyways, here it is. I believe in my heart somebody did something to Eric. BG Knockout told Hip Hop DX, whether it was Jerry Heller, whether it was his widow Tamika Woods Wright. I have yet to really know the truth about it. But for a person to have full-blown AIDS that quickly is suspicious. My little brother, his father died from full-blown AIDS, from sharing a needle, because he was an addict. Now, I've seen this man go through these stages from HIV to full-blown AIDS. And when you get a cold, any little thing like that, your whole immunity system shuts down. So you have to go into the hospital just to recover. Now, to be around Eric for the last 3 years of his life and never had any episode like this, never ever, it's suspicious. It's basically what he's saying. Excuse me, guys. So yes, it's very suspicious. Very, very, very suspicious. BG Knockout, of course, was one of Eric Eazy Wright's, label mates, right? I mean, Eric was, Eazy was the owner of the label, so he basically hired BG Knockout, one of his rappers. He had him on a lot of his songs on his last album, yada yada. So he was around Eazy, man. And in countless interviews, he thinks he was murdered, man. He was murdered, okay? This gentleman was there, and he thinks he was murdered. Now, with that being said, man, okay, if you take this to a court of law, he would be a key witness. Not saying that BG Knockout would ever testify. I'm just saying in a world of imaginary circumstances, okay? This is one of his closest friends, guys, that said this, man. All right? It's just very suspicious if somebody catches AIDS and a few weeks later, he straight up dies. Straight up. Especially a multi-millionaire. Okay, where Magic Johnson contracted HIV years before Eazy-E, and this man is still alive. So that BS lie that 94, 95, they didn't have the technology, BS. Why is Magic Johnson still alive? Okay, answer me that. Freddie Mercury also contracted HIV/AIDS, and it took him about a year to die, or more. I'm not 100% sure. He sure he didn't die in a month or in 3.5 weeks. That sure as hell didn't happen. Okay, so this is BS. He was murdered, everybody. It's common sense. You need to read between the lines when these people speak to you. They're not gonna come right out flat and tell you, hey, this guy did this and that. And no, they're not gonna do that. Okay, they're on TV. They don't want to be brought up to a court of law. They don't want to incriminate themselves. They don't want to, whatever reason, be called a snitch or whatever the reason they have. They're not gonna do it. It's common sense. You guys need to read between the lines when these people tell you this. Do your own research, make your own connections, and don't overthink stuff. Because usually when you do that, you'll find yourself confused. Okay, the truth always comes to light. And Eazy-E was unfortunately murdered, is what I believe. He was murdered, guys. Okay, he was, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys believe that too. It's simple to get somebody's blood with HIV/AIDS, right? All you got to do is have a connection with a doctor, or simply a connection with a heroin addict that shoots up with somebody with HIV/AIDS. When they're shooting up, snatch that needle, inject somebody with it. Simple, very simple, guys. It's not hard, in the streets. Everybody knows somebody with HIV, especially in those days in Compton where drugs were running rapidly with gangs and all that. Or you can go to downtown, wherever you can go, you can find that very, 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 very simple. Okay. Now let's read this. Eazy's son thinks Suge Knight killed his father by injecting him with HIV. Here's why that's highly unlikely, this article said. Young Eazy's son, NWA co-founder Eric Eazy Wright, thinks Suge Knight killed his father. Young Eazy, whose real name is Marquise Wright, shared an Instagram post for a new infamous interview Knight had on Jimmy Kimmel Live. In 2003, his first televised appearance after being released from prison for parole. So here's another article where it says that Eazy's son thinks Suge Knight killed his father by injecting him with HIV. Okay, article after article. He's basically coming out and telling you guys that's what he thinks. He ain't telling you who did it, how does he know they did it, but he's just telling you that that's what he thinks. So if this isn't obvious, guys, I don't know what else to tell y'all, man. This is his son, flesh and blood. Moving on. The left clip on the left. The trailer plays clips from Eazy's longtime business partner Jerry Heller, as well as members of Bone Thugs and Harmony. Heller, who worked at MyCore Records, which distributed NWA's earliest material, worked with Eazy from 1986 until just before the rapper's death. At 2:15 in the reel, an interview with Jerry is played. Do I think that something fishy happened to Eazy? He's asked. He says, absolutely. I don't believe for a second that someone who had as much money as we did could afford care and treatment like Magic Johnson could afford it, who doesn't even test positive anymore. I don't believe that he could have possibly died that quickly from full-blown AIDS. I don't believe it. Funny, because I was just talking about that Magic Johnson thing. What did I tell you guys? Okay? What did I tell you guys? Magic Johnson contracted it before Eazy, but yet he's still alive and he don't even test positive. He can have sex without a condom and not give AIDS to a girl. BS. Eazy was murdered. Right clip on the right. Speaking on the thesis of the doc, Ebby Wright begins. I know you're all thinking, didn't Eazy-E die of AIDS? So what scandal is there? Well, if he did die of AIDS, why was there so much cover-up surrounding the details of his death? So let me break this down for you. My father was diagnosed with AIDS 3 weeks before he died. Like I told you guys, 3 weeks before he died. She details her beliefs of what transpired. He was immediately isolated in the hospital, away from all of us, his friends and family. Soon after, his attorney of only 2 months draws up my dad's living trust will on his deathbed. 2 days later, a secret marriage took place between Eazy and Tamika Woods. Right. During the following week, my dad's entire estate was being looted while he was dying in the hospital, guys. Okay, while he was dying in the hospital, this man allegedly signed a marriage license. Okay, this is Eazy's daughter. That's so sad, man. When your daughter believes that you were murdered, and it seems like from this, she thinks it was Tamika. Okay, so there's 3 people here that people think did it. Jerry Heller, if you guys haven't heard that before, people think Jerry Heller did it. People, most people think it was Suge Knight and Tamika, though. It might have been both of them conspiring to do it. Also, Eazy-E had just fired Jerry Heller. For you guys that don't know, he had just fired Jerry Heller before he was contracted with HIV. So that's interesting in itself as well. He had just fired him, then he gets HIV. What's going on with that, right? Check this out, guys. I'm not looking to blame anyone except myself, the letter says. I have learned in the last week that this thing is real, and it doesn't discriminate. It affects everyone. Before Tamika, I had other women. I have seen children by 6 different mothers. Baby success was too good to me. I love all my kids and always took care of them. The lawyer said Eazy's wife and son were not infected. A little more than a week after the press conference, the rapper, whose real name was Eric Wright, was dead. He was dead, guys. This was his last words, which was in a letter that his lawyer or attorney read to the world, which people don't even believe it was Eazy's writing, y'all. People like the rappers that were on his label, his friends, kids, and family, guys. From what the research I've done and I've seen, and the research that was brought on to me, man, I believe Eazy-E might have been murdered. He might have been murdered, man, for his money. He was a rich black guy that was already meeting the president of the United States. He was already owner of his own label, multi-millionaire. And I don't think he was murdered by the FBI or feds like Pac was. I think it was simple jealousy, man. Simple jealousy and murder. It happens every day to broke people, people with a little money, regular millionaires. Why couldn't it happen to Eazy-E? He's a living, breathing human like me and you, and they were. So why couldn't it happen to him? So this is another, or the rest of the BG Knockout interview. Knockout wasn't the only business record artist to share the same thoughts. In an interview with Vlad TV, Bone Thugs and Harmony claimed none of the 7 women the rapper had children with had the AIDS virus. They also claim Eazy contracted the symptoms rather quickly, leading them to believe he could have been lethally injected with it. Even to this day, none of his kids, none of his baby's mamas, mistresses, nobody had came up with the HIV or nothing like that. So just rationally thinking, something had to go on, Wishbone said. Part of Bone Thugs and Harmony, guys, one of his artists. Okay? Multiple people think he was murdered. Multiple people. We've all heard what they think. You all heard what I think. We want to know what you guys think. Alright? We're going to go deep in this mystery with Eazy-E. And we're going to start pumping out, basically the facts and the clues and all this stuff. We're going to get deep into it, guys. I want to know what you guys think. If you have any information, please send it to wireduptv4you@gmail.com. wireduptv4you@gmail.com, guys. Alright, this is just a quick one for y'all. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Remember what I tell you guys, don't be fake, be original. Don't be afraid to be the leader, and don't follow the crowd, man. Don't do that, alright? Don't do that. Pac preached against that, so did Eazy-E. In the memory of Eazy-E, don't do that. And like I always tell you guys, always stay wired up. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.